welcome everybody to the Rebelle Rally and Rebelle Rally Live, brought to you by Toyota. It is a beautiful morning here in the Mojave Desert. We are at Base Camp 3 at the start of Stage 6 here in Amboy, California at the very famous Roy's Motel. But I got to tell you, Matthew,
yeah,
it was so hot last night in my tent. How did you sleep?
It was hot. Not awesome. Not awesome. No, it was sweaty.
I had my own, personal wet t-shirt contest because I just dunked a t-shirt in water, and that's how I slept. I was just laying there in my tent like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. Yeah,
the problem really was no air movement, wasn't it? It was just still and steamy. And then whenever you did get to sleep, we were reminded that we're also by a train track.
Just like going through.
Come on, train, in the middle of the night, can't you go by without blowing the whistle?
No.
Is that necessary at 3 o'clock in the morning?
No, 100% they have to be noisy.
Oh, man. Well, looking at the start line here, we're seeing a shot of Lily there. It was a, what do you call it, random draw for the
It was a random draw today.
So
today, they had to pack up all of their stuff. They had to get their competitor briefing. It was a long competitor briefing because they did get a little bit of dune instruction because we're going to hit part of the dunes in later part of the day. But today is mainly a transit day. They've got 175 miles of an on-route enduro. I don't believe there's any checkpoints on that enduro, but it's still 175 miles that you got to pay attention to a road book.
It is, and it's through the Mojave Desert.
Right.
Last night in our briefing, we do a briefing about the course the next day, and Emily's like, this is just absolutely beautiful, but it's going to take you forever to be in there, and it's really rough, and it's blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, but this area over here, really beautiful. There's just going to be epic views today as they're making their way down south through the Mojave.
And, one of the things that, because we're going so far south today, one of the things that the navigators have to keep up with is that there are actually 2 compass declinations, right? Because your compass, you have to declinate it for the area in the world that you're at. And as you move north or south, as you move east or west, rather, you have to declinate that compass so that it is accurate. So they're going to start the day at 10.5 east, I believe, and then once they get down to Glamis, they're going to have to declinate to 11. So
is declination like a dance you do? Do you praise the compass and dance around it? Do you teach it something?
You do. You waltz with it, and then it turns into a polka, and then suddenly your compass is accurate. It's crazy.
How do you declinate a compass?
So on the Suntos, the ones that you see people kind of putting out away from you, there's a little dial in the back, and you have to have super secret vision because it's very, very small, and there's a bunch of ticks on the back of the compass, and so you just turn that dial until you get to the right declination. But newbies might not know this, each of those ticks is actually 2 degrees. So the first time
half tick sometimes.
So the first time I declinated a compass, we were off by a degree every single time. I'm like, why are we so bad? Because you didn't declinate your compass correctly.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then some of the sighting compass you cannot declinate at all. So that means that you have to do math every time. You either have to add or subtract, whether you're taking a heading and going to the map or measuring on the map and going up to the world. So that's another separate thing that they have to have their head straight in order to do that math. It's simple, but listen, it's really easy to forget to do it.
Well, it's another small peek into the number of details that can just totally derail you in your competition here at the Rebelle.
Absolutely.
If you haven't studied up on it.
I know.
Yeah.
So we've got a little bit of social stuff coming up. As you know, you guys are all watching us hopefully on rebellerally.com/live, but maybe you're watching us live on Rebelle Rally on Facebook or on YouTube. So you know what? You guys can share those channels, and then your friends can see MJ and I this early in the morning where we've had 4 hours of sleep and we're rocking down with my Diet Dr. Pepper. So you can share those channels. Please comment. We love seeing your comments. If you've got a question, let us know what your question is, and we will do our best to answer it.
We can see Verena and Tana there on the start line. They're second off today. You can see Tana busily editing her map. They've got to make the choice if they're going to go to some of those black diamond checkpoints or if they're going to boogie on down to the dunes and try to hoover up the points down there. You probably can't get them all.
No. There's 19 checkpoints today. They won't get them all, for sure.
We're going to be hearing from Emily here shortly about some of the pacing that's going to be necessary to get through a day
absolutely. But for right now, let's go to a yellow brick piece that we've got. Yellow brick are the folks that keep track of all of our competitors, make sure that everyone's safe. I mean, listen, they might not know where they are, but we know where they are because of yellow brick.
So we're absolutely going behind the scenes today, literally behind the curtain, to find Rachel from YB Tracking. Hi ladies. They said they would. How you doing?
Good.
This is Rachel from YB Tracking.
Hi.
Can you talk us through a little bit? First of all, this is a tracker, right?
Yes, this is what is on their vehicles that tracks them so we can see where they are at every time they're going around the route.
So there's one on each vehicle, but there's also one in the vehicle so that the competitors can click on it when they find a checkpoint, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, perfect. Now, while they're out in the field, what exactly are you doing? You're kind of like the cat herder, right? You make sure no one's getting lost?
Yeah, so I keep an eye on the main view that everyone else can see on here. And I also have a look on this page. So this is every single transmission that we receive from the tracking tracker. So if anything is slightly delayed, I just keep an eye on it for a little while. But if it's usually if they're out of signal for slightly.
And go back to the other one. So the main one that you're there, and so this is all the cars out and the staff, everyone that has a tracker.
Yeah, this is just the public one. So this is just all the
Correct.
participants. We do have one for the staff as well.
Okay, perfect. And then if I'm at home, can you show us the app that you're also able to track? We can download this at home and follow our loved ones, right?
Yeah, so it's the YB Races app. And it basically replicates what's on the screen here. And you can see from the start this morning, everyone's sort of moving along.
Off they go. How cool is that? So if you're at home, make sure you download the YB Tracking app and you can follow along. We'll see you out on the course today. Awesome.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Rebelle Rally at the start of day 6?
6, yes.
Is today Friday?
It's day 6. It's Friday.
Oh,
no.
my gosh. I have no idea.
It's Thursday. Today's Thursday.
Oh, today's Thursday. Oh, phew. Okay. All right. Great.
God, it happened fast. The 7th edition is already almost done.
You know, it starts so slowly, and you think we're going to be here forever, and I'm just going to die on the Rebelle Rally. And then suddenly you're like, oh, my gosh, it's almost done.
Yeah,
Oh, it's just crazy.
All right, let's go to Harry and see who he's got on the start line there. So,
yeah, we're here at the start line, and so many teams this year. We haven't had an opportunity to talk to everybody yet, so we're here with Michelle and Tasha. I see Tasha plodding furiously over there. You've been in a Honda in the past, I believe, in the driver's seat, right? So now
swapping every day. So 2019 and 2021, Liz Long and I would swap each day between navigating and driving. So first year actually staying navigator the entire time, and first time in 4x4. So.
Yeah, and is this your vehicle then, Michelle?
This is, yes.
How did you equip it? Are you ready for the dunes today?
I am ready for the dunes today. In fact, I'm more ready than I was when I went out and trained with Nina and the team. So I feel really equipped and anxious and excited. So anxious in a good way.
I see you have like the quick deflators on your tire.
Deflators. We're going to blow these bad boys down as quick as we can and hit the dunes. It's going to be fun. Safe day. We got to have a safe day today and enter the dunes with good karma so we can hit the big dunes tomorrow.
Well, and time is definitely of the essence out there for sure, so that's good advice for anyone considering doing this event. What air pressure are you running the rest of the days versus what you're going to run in the dunes?
I've been running about 27. I think we're probably going to drop down to 15, maybe a little bit lower. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if they've had rain or how soft they are. We'll have to see.
It's always easier to go a little lower, right, rather than to air back up.
Oh, but we're set up to air up pretty quick. So we had a flat tire yesterday morning at our start line, and we aired up as quick as we could, and we did our on-time enduro. We had great teamwork. Had to really reset ourselves and get ready to go. When we got to the end of the enduro is when we flopped that new tire on and headed out. We plugged it last night, so it's ready to go in case we need it.
Nice. And is a plug kit then one of the things you carry with you out here?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
and
something you never want to use, but we had to use it, so it was great. We did it last night, and we have a full size spare in the back, and it's filled back up, ready to go.
Ironies of this event, right? We carry all these things: first aid kits, fire extinguishers. We hope we never have to use any of them.
Right. But hey, who knows if you get to help someone else someday down the road if you know how the skills.
Absolutely, and that carries over beyond the event the rest of the year too.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us about your onboard air setup?
Well, I've got a twin ARB. It is under the hood, and then I've got a an attachment in here if we want to blow out the cab. So they kind of set us up real great, Hinckley Overland in Salt Lake. So they were our sponsor, and they've really helped us out a lot, get this thing fully equipped and ready to go. So they're just one of our sponsors. We've had a lot of them, so we're pretty blessed. So yeah, we're all set up. I don't believe in the octopus systems. I feel like it gets tangled up in sandy. Too much tubing in the sand for me. I felt like it was more cumbersome than it helped me. So I went just to the single line, and we're going to go that route.
All right, well, I see people pulling up and staging. We'll let you go, and we're going to go back to Matthew and Emme.
Thank you so much, Harry. Well, I am here with Das Kaiser of the Rebelle Rally. I'm going to get every single language in to call you the chief of the Rebelle Rally. This is the fabulous Emily Miller. Emily, I haven't told you this story, but a couple of years ago, I had lunch with somebody. It was an off-road person, like an off-road possible sponsor type of thing. And they thought that I was you. And I sat there and I had this whole lunch with them. And then I realized that they thought that I was Emily Miller because I'm Emme Hall. And I just was like, I think you have me confused with somebody else.
Aren't you like about 8 inches taller than
Well, no, but they didn't. They just knew the name. They just knew the name. But, we've got a very long transit stage today. We've got some beautiful desert vistas. So, we're going to run the Mapbox little tracer guy that goes through, and you can talk us through the course.
Okay, sounds good. Well, they're going to start here from Roy's. They're going to head east this morning on the pavement. Because Route 66 is closed, they have to head back north. Some teams may choose to take the highway, but they have an option to go through a really cool, long-distance, straight road that takes them down off Essex Road, hits that first green CP, and then heads across the heart of the Mojave. Now, that's not showing right here is that there is an X option up through the Paiute Mountains. It's really tough, challenging, but absolutely beautiful. Then they're going to head south. There's another option, and it's a big option, to go either the X route that heads east or south down a big pole line road. Then they're going to hop on the pavement. It's a long section, though, Emme. Then they're going to hop on the pavement. They're going to fuel at Vital Junction. They're going to head to Blythe. From Blythe, this area, they're on a road book just to help them transit to Glamis. So they're on their way to Glamis. I know the teams are nervous. They're going to hit a green checkpoint at the end of the road book. That will be at the northeast part of the dunes.
Okay.
And at that point, they have a number of checkpoints that also take them up the famed Osborne, not Osborne Overlook, but
Are they going up Oldsmobile? Ooh, girl.
Yes.
It's tough to get a stock truck up Oldsmobile.
It is tough, but to me, it's a badge of honor.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's an iconic location that we love. The question is whether we're going to put it in the stage 6 or whether we're going to put it in stage 7. But they've got to air down. They've got to put on the RIP flags. They've got to make really smart decisions. Yeah. You know what we call those dunes?
I do.
On the east side.
I do. We call them the poopy dunes, but we use another word.
Yes. So they have a number of checkpoints there before they then exit the dunes with a great, beautiful blue checkpoint, and then they head to base camp. But today the name of the game is going to be time management.
Yeah.
But they're going to be in areas where there are very long stretches. If they don't take proper headings, if they just blaze down a road, not thinking, not knowing exactly where they are, they could go miles and miles and miles in the wrong direction, and fuel management is going to be an issue.
Well, I don't know if you saw our piece yesterday where I attempted to drive in a straight line only for a quarter of a mile, and I was already off after that quarter of a mile by 2 or 3 degrees. So you multiply that over long distances, and teams can get really, really, and there's a lot of very straight lines. So you think you're on the right road, you're like, yeah, straight line, yeah, this is what's on the road, on the map, and they can really get messed up. Emily, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I know you have a million things to do today, but we're going to throw to Harry on the starting line, and it looks like he's talking to a cool FJ Cruiser.
Yeah, we're here with Lisa and FJ Anna. So they had some issues early on that we had discussed, but one thing I wanted to talk about was, Lisa, you're a rookie this year, and you've teamed up with an experienced Rebelle. I think that's great advice for anyone considering doing this event. How did that work out for the two of you?
I mean, it's worked out great for me having Anna's experience to kind of lean on, know what I'm getting into. It's been really invaluable. How do you think it's gone?
Yeah, it's really good. Lisa's been doing great. This is my first year getting to navigate, which has been fun. Kind of excited to get to Glamis this afternoon and switch seats. And so that way she gets to navigate and I get to have some fun on the dunes.
So that's your plan when you get down to Glamis, you're going to switch?
Yep. Yes. Yeah, and that's always been the plan. She's got much more experience in the dunes than I do, and I have a lot of, general off-road experience, but not so much dune driving.
And did you do a lot of training together coming into the event?
Yeah, we met up a few times and we did a few mock Rebelle days to prepare for this, and we met up and did a full vehicle run through to make sure that he was all ready to go, and he was for the most part, and and
just
then
not the fuel filter.
Yep, just missing one thing, but we got that fixed now and he's running great.
And Anna, tell me about the suspension on this thing, because I know whenever I see you out there, I know it's rough, but this thing makes it look like you're on a flat road.
Yeah, so I'm running the +2 long travel kit from Total Chaos and have Kings paired with it along with secondaries, and it's great. It's so much fun in the big stuff.
It looks like it. We're always jealous. I try and keep up with you out there when we're trying to get photos, and I am unsuccessful. So have a great day. We'll let you get to the start line and start your day. Moving back on the line, lots of Broncos this year. Personally, I think that might be the hot setup for the dunes. Great power to weight ratio. They've got independent front suspension, unlike the Jeeps, which, less unsprung weight, which I think is kind of a good thing in that sort of terrain. If you're on the Rubicon, personally, I prefer a Jeep. I don't have a Bronco. I do have a Jeep. I also have a Toyota. That's what I bring on this event. It's not as nice as Anna's, but still pretty darn nice. We'll wait for a few other teams to come here to the start line, and in the meantime, we'll go back to Emme and Matthew.
Thank you so much, Harry. Matthew, I saw that you were talking with one of our media drivers about the route. What are you worried about today? I mean, where are you going to go today?
I want to make sure I go to the pretty place and not get stuck in through really rough stuff where we can't get around competitors.
And you're using the Onyx map, so they're able to drop those checkpoints for us so that we know where we're going, so we don't actually have to use the paper maps.
Yeah. You can. I actually cannot. Actually, if I don't know, some version of, you might be able to cobble it together. Anyway, the point is, as the media team, we need to be a bit light on our feet. And so we're trying to, number one, don't go to checkpoints so competitors can see where we've driven. So they don't give us a lot of the checkpoints anymore. We do have the critical places to turn, though, and so if we're near a competitor, when we get to one of those corners, we'll just stop and wait. And then if a competitor turns that corner, we'll follow them a while. And then if they pull over, then we'll pass them.
Yeah.
But if it's at an intersection, we don't lead.
Yeah, no, you can't lead. And I tell you, when we were competing, if we saw a media vehicle, we'd be like, oh, wait, well, we know we're in the right place because there's media.
Yeah.
So it's a tough dance, right? Because you need to be close enough to get the shots, but you need to be far enough away that you're not giving anything away.
Correct.
Yeah.
And, I do a lot of media for different things. You do as well. Some people don't like media, but it's a necessary piece of what we do. Otherwise, no one would know about it.
Exactly. And we want to bring you guys the best show that we possibly can. We've got great drone pilots, great photography, great video. But we're going to show you more of that. But for right now, we have to take a break so I can get a little drink of my Diet Dr. Pepper.
My name is April Leone. I am a senior software engineer at Onyx Maps. This is my truck, Luna. She is originally she was a 2011 4Runner, and now she's covered in diamond plate because I have accidents and rolled her a couple of times in some sand dunes. I got into off-roading, I feel like I don't like to generalize, but the way that a lot of women might get into off-roading, they have a husband, they have a boyfriend who's doing this cool thing with trucks, and you want to be involved. You want to go out. You want to have some adventure. And that was a really big draw for me. The thing for me that really was important was that I didn't just sit in the passenger seat. yeah, it was really important to me to learn how to do everything on my truck and learn how to drive it really well. So I found Luna and I signed up for some trainings, and then I just kind of made it my own. So I started off-roading, but then I learned about this really awesome women-only navigation rally called the Rebelle. And what is so unique about it is 2,000 kilometers entirely off-road in California, Nevada, no GPS, no computer, no phone. And every morning you get a list of coordinates that you have to hand plot on a map with like your glasses in the dark, and you're trying to figure out where you're going. So what's interesting about the Rebelle is after doing it for a couple of years, it brought me to Onyx. Even though the Rebelle is paper only, I can import tracks into Onyx. I can use it as a training tool. You know, you can load up the satellite imagery, see what was around you, see what you missed, get some details about that, and, you know, then get out there and adventure with that.
Get lost without getting lost. When your adventure takes you off the beaten path, Iridium is there. Whether you're camping in the woods, hiking a mountain, or sailing the ocean, Iridium satellite communicators keep you connected regardless of weather conditions, terrain, or location. Built to be portable, rugged, and easy to use, Iridium and Iridium connected devices deliver peace of mind for you and your loved ones through real-time two-way voice calling, text messaging, photo sharing, social media, GPS, weather monitoring, and SOS, even in the most remote locations. Choose from a selection of products ranging from satellite phones to Bluetooth-enabled hotspots made by the brands you trust to call home, share the moment, or get help when needed. So, get out, take a hike, seize the day, but stay connected. Iridium, your world, our network.
And welcome back, everybody, to Rebelle Rally Live, presented by Toyota. And we want to take a second here to thank Mapbox, because, man, we are out here in the middle of nowhere, especially later today when we get out in the middle of the Mojave. And Mapbox really makes it possible for us to be here and know where the heck we are.
They do, and now they've given us some really cool visuals this year. The flyovers of the course
I love
each
the visuals,
day. I mean,
yeah.
that's really added a lot to our show and our ability to communicate what the terrain looks like out here. And then getting across that terrain, obviously total chaos here every year, helping Emily plan the course. Let's go and check in with Harry. It looks like he's on the line.
Yeah, Matthew, I'm always on the line. That's my job. That's what I do. We're here with Melissa and Chris, our leaders in the X-Cross class. Where are we headed today?
Headed to Glamis. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I love it. It's it sets it apart. We've in the past I've been going into Glamis, you know, not in the lead. I went from 5th to 2nd. It's a big decision day. You can win it or lose it out there.
And you're ready for the pressure.
This is why I come do it every year, I guess. I enjoy it.
And you've had this vehicle, the Bronco Sport, in the dune quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I've actually trained with it in the dunes, and then I competed in the same car last year. It's a great little dune carver.
And what do you think sets it apart from the competition in X-Cross?
Definitely the modes. They have programmed a sand mode into it, and it also has a rear locker, and it just floats right through the sand. In fact, I actually in the sand would prefer this over a Wrangler.
You got this low center of gravity. It's nice and light.
Absolutely. Exactly what you're describing. Very good car.
Well, we'll let you move up to the start line, and we'll be rooting you on out there today.
Thank you.
From the Bronco Sport to a big Bronco. This is actually a first edition. These are kind of rare, but Kristen doesn't care. She's out here mobbing it.
Good morning.
Good morning. We were talking last night about your first edition Bronco, and how do you like this compared to the Super Duty or the Land Rover you competed in the past?
Oh gosh, well, I mean, compared to the Super Duty, the short wheelbase, just being lighter overall, is going to be really fun to drive in the dunes. This has the 2.7 liter twin turbo, so I definitely have plenty of power to get up there. It's just strategic. The truck and the Land Rover were super fun to drive. They're all different, but overall this has been very capable, eating up the trails. So I'm enjoying it.
And you two are doing amazing out there. You're both veteran competitors. What advice do you have for people to bring along with them to the dunes if they're going, whether recreationally or to compete?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I would just say don't panic. You know, it can be really intimidating, especially for the teams that maybe haven't seen the dunes. You know, obviously safety is your main priority. So getting in there once you get in and get a couple checkpoints and really learn to read the maps, it's not as intimidating as you think it is. So stay calm.
That's great advice for the entire rally. We hope you have a nice calm day and you're clicking off all those CPs, and we'll see you in Glamis.
See you there. Thanks so much.
We just talked to our leaders in X-Cross, our leaders in 4x4, our Nina Barlow and Terlin Peduri, last year's winners. Good morning. How are you feeling? How much sleep did you get last night?
I passed out early, but those trains sure woke me up early, so I'm not sure. Enough. Yeah.
Enough. That's part of the event, right? I mean, sleep deprivation. I don't know if that was something Emily planned this year. She's throwing a lot of curveballs at you this year. How are you dealing with those?
Ooh, it's fun. Yeah, it brings up the excitement, gives us something new and interesting. Yeah, it gets that energy up. So.
And I know the two of you love the dunes. Nina, you're actually an instructor. What advice would you have for people to carry with them if they're going to the dunes, whether it's recreationally or for this event?
So it sounds really obvious, but this is the number one way that people screw up. If we say don't drive where you can't see, and people bomb off blind over the top of dunes all the time, that's where accidents happen. And so like one of the things that we try to do when we're teaching dune driving is show them how to see without like stopping at the top, getting out. It's like you drive in cursive, you know, so you drive in the big curves, you get up on top so you can see, and then you can plan, am I going to dive off now, or am I, abort and go around and, find a different route. You can learn how to read that sand and kind of anticipate where the tails are, so that it's like, okay, this is where it's likely to go, but I'm still going to drive in a big curve and arc around where I can get a look at it before I commit.
What gear do you recommend?
It just varies on the vehicle. Yeah.
How about you, Tara? What would you suggest?
For gear?
Yeah.
Well, they recommend we bring Max Tracks. It's nice to have that bubba rope, so you can chug each other out. A shovel.
Max Tracks, a shovel.
Yeah. And a rope with some
Max Tracks.
Hook lines and shackles. Yeah, that'll do it. I just bring Nina. Because that's my equipment.
And now, you mentioned, Nina, going in cursive, but we're trying to, in this event, right, you're taking a heading and you're trying to go a certain distance.
Right. Well, now you're getting into my secrets.
Okay.
All right, no, but seriously, so like, you're looking at the top of the next dune. You're not going to drive in a straight line, but you get to that spot. So you come around, you land on your spot, and now you're on your heading again. And then you do the same. So you're doing that over and over and over again if you're trying to drive a heading in a distance. Of course, your distance is going to be off by 20 or 30%, but you just have to kind of estimate that in. So.
And don't worry, none of the competitors have access to the live show, so it'll be afterwards before they can see your secrets. We'll let you move up in line and have a great day. We'll see you down there. We'll go back to Matthew and Emme and get some more of their advice on the day.
It is great to get a few of those tips from Nina Barlow, and I might just come back and compete again. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to Nina. She is such. I mean, they are so great in the dunes. I mean, they're great every day, but they're just so good in the dunes, and they don't get intimidated. And it's like watching them is like reading poetry, man. I got to tell you.
For sure. Now, a lot of folks aren't very comfortable in the dunes, or they know their vehicle is not favored, or when it gets to the sand and the loose stuff. So they're probably going to have a strategy of getting a lot of the black diamonds today in Mojave, right, would you say? And then they risk getting to the dunes kind of late, maybe a couple of the big checkpoints there, and then that's all they're going to get. Others that love the dunes and have a vehicle that are ready, they're going to get a couple of these black diamonds and then go down there and try to knock out everything they have access to in the sand.
Exactly. Now, it looks like, though, we might have a few, I don't want to say races, but a few little competitions, maybe not for first and second, but for third place and top five and top 10. So what's going on?
I got to say, I'm really interested to hear this morning about Laura and Maria's diesel Jeep yesterday. Their battery came loose and was bouncing around and shorting some, causing some running issues. Hopefully Nick and the team worked some magic. I saw them trying to just start the vehicle last night, and the vehicle was not talking the same language that they were. So at that time.
Quel dommage. Well, I know that Laura is in line, so Harry's going to be able to get with them in a minute when they get up close, so that's cool.
Okay, for sure. So regarding that, so Laura and Maria are second right now. Okay. Provided their Jeep's fine, they're likely to stay around there.
Yeah.
But Lily in third. Obviously, the Rivian's been awesome, but as you have experienced, the Rivian's may be a bit heavy in the sand.
Yeah, the Rivians are tricky to drive in the dunes for a couple of different reasons. Number one, they are heavy. Number two, you need to air down, but you can't air down too much because that vehicle is so heavy. So I kept it at like 15 PSI. Normally in the dunes in a regular vehicle, I would have gone down to like 12, maybe even 10. So that is a problem for them. They also, as soon as you lift off that throttle, that vehicle starts to stop because you have the regen braking kicks in.
And what happens in the tire?
And then what happens is then your nose dives and then you bury your front end in the sand.
Right.
Now, they do have a new sand mode this year that we did not have last year, so hopefully that will help them with that regen, but they have to keep up a lot of speed, and sometimes you don't want to go too fast in those dunes.
No.
So Lily's going to really need to be careful on that throttle. But that might give Rory and I'm trying to look at your screen here. Rory and Renee, thank you. Oh my gosh, I see her face in my head. In that Total Chaos equipped Forerunner, a chance to come up from behind and steal that place from them. It's possible.
I mean, Becky and Sam in the Tundra Hybrid is going to be really good in the sand, but it is still a longer wheelbase.
It's a longer wheelbase, and that might be tough up at the top of the dunes.
Renee and Rory's Total Chaos equipped Forerunner might be. They're in striking distance of the podium. Speaking of the podium, let's jump over to Harry and hear from Laura and Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here with Laura Wanless and Maria Guitar. And I know the first rule of Plot Club is you don't talk about Plot Club, but there's a lot of folks at home that are wondering what was going on. I saw your Jeep in the mechanics area yesterday. Can you tell us what happened?
I'm an old pro at secondary battery issues, so I made it through the whole day, and then I pulled into impound and my car died right in front of the mechanics, which was ideal. So we've bypassed the secondary battery and I think we're good to go.
And you had one of those with you, correct?
I did. Yes, I had a spare because that happened to me in 2020. Hence, I'm an old pro.
So did you have to disconnect the battery last night, or is it all good to go now?
We're good to go now. Yep.
All right, and all set to go down to Glamis and get into the dunes. I know you do a ton of dune training. But you don't live in the same state. Did you have an opportunity to train much together this year?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but we feel comfortable working together, and yeah, we're good.
And we do Zoom calls. We Plot Club Zooms together.
Yeah.
All right, nice. What air pressure have you been running this week, and how does it differ from what you plan on running down in Glamis?
25 versus 15 and below in Glamis. 25 all week.
All right.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate the info. We're glad Jeep's back up and running, and have fun out there. Glad to hear that our team currently sitting in second has all their mechanical issues worked out. We'll see how the standings sort out the next couple days, but back to Emme and Matthew.
All right.
So, did I hear that correctly? She actually brought a second, like
battery.
A spare battery?
Yeah.
That's nuts. I'm always worried about, like, little mechanical parts, and Laura's like, no, I got a big old battery.
I got an extra battery with me. Well, she said it's not the first time she's played this game. So
that's true.
She's prepared if that happens again.
So let's go back to the standings a little bit here in 4x4, because, there is really a chance for a properly, or I don't want to say properly, but a more heavily equipped vehicle could surpass other people in the dunes today.
Yeah, or more, I don't know.
Just better equipped for the dunes over a stock vehicle, right?
Yeah, and let's talk about what's nice to have in the dunes. You either need big tires that you can let air out of, so you have a nice big footprint. Think about walking out in the beach, if you're walking on the beach, right? And you get on that crust. And there's sometimes you can kind of stay on the crust if you flatten your feet out.
Yep.
But if you try to walk faster, you punch right through the crust, and then it's harder to walk. It's kind of like that in the sand. I mean, it is that in the sand. We want the tire to spread out and try to stay on top of the sand. Now, the right tire can allow you to do that, or a lot of horsepower can allow you to do that. You need a lot of one or the other. But we're of the opinion that Rory and Renee have a good chance to march themselves up the podium.
They do, absolutely. And they'll be able to travel a little bit faster in the whoops, like especially when you have to get up to Oldsmobile Hill.
Yes.
The bottom of that hill is all whooped out, and by having some of that longer travel, more beefier suspension from Total Chaos, they're going to be able to carry more speed through those whoops, and then they can attack that hill once it gets smooth, starting faster. Whereas sometimes some of these stock vehicles, you just don't have the travel to do that.
In the sand, it's such a equation of momentum. You either have the momentum to get where you need, or you don't.
Yeah. Well, we've got a little video that I shot earlier. I know that a lot of people are curious about what the Rebels have at their disposal. I mean, we are an analog rally, and we have some analog tools, but they can get you there just as good as GPS. So let's roll that clip.
So in addition to having a great vehicle, if you want to be a Rebelle, there are some key tools that you need. Now, first of all, when you get here, you are going to get a map. You are also going to get a CP guide. Those are given to you by the rally, so you don't need to worry about that at all. But what you do need to worry about are what we call our little scales, our little magic rulers. So these are good for a 50,000 map, a 100,000 map, and a 200,000 map, because maps all have different scales, so you need to make sure you're using the right one. Otherwise, you will be in a world of hurt. Ask me how I know. You're also going to need a mechanical pencil. You should bring a lot of these because you will lose them 100% guaranteed. This is called a plotter. This helps us decide what direction we're going in. So you can use this on the map and decide, okay, I'm going to go into direction of 210 degrees. This will help you make that straight line. And then finally, of course, you will need a compass. There are all different kinds of compasses, but this one is a really nice one from Sunto. My navigator likes to use a little sighting compass, so it's all about personal preference.
Thanks a lot, Emme, for all of those tools demos. Sorry, we looked at each other there. Hey, let's jump down to Harry. We love hearing from our competitors this week, and we want to make sure we can chat with all of them. Harry, what you got?
Yeah, I'm here with Lou and Jenny. You're rookies, correct?
Correct.
And you're in a Barlow rented Jeep, so did you fly in to get this?
Yeah, we're both from Fort Lauderdale in Florida. Well, Australian, South African, but we live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And we flew into Sedona, picked up the car there and drove via Big Dune, did some training with Nina, and then up to Incline Village. So we had an 800-mile drive before the start line.
I'm really curious how you pack for a trip like this where you have to fly in. What did Nina provide, or what did you pack with you?
I mean, she provided all the safety gear, but luckily Jenny has an incredible status with American Airlines. Yeah. And so we could lug bags upon bags upon bags. So all of our camping gear and everything was packed and loaded on the plane.
And what did you bring that you would leave behind if you had it to do again?
Oh.
My pillow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You wouldn't bring the pillow?
Would I leave it behind? My big pillow? Yeah, I could leave my big
pillow. Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't know. We probably bought a few extra things, but we didn't do too badly overall.
And is there anything you forgot that you wish you had brought?
Decent markers, decent highlighters. I bought some really rubbishy highlighters off of Amazon, and they're not great.
Not the place to skimp, huh?
I'd invest in good highlighters, definitely.
That's good advice for next time. Well, and if all you need was highlighters and all you brought was a pillow, I think you're doing great.
Yeah, we've done good.
Are you excited for the dunes?
Yes, very. Yeah, that little bit of training with Nina in Big Dune kind of just, like I kind of woke up with that. I didn't stop smiling the whole time, so I can't wait for Glamis.
Great. Well, that's where we're headed today. Have fun down there.
Thanks.
Cars are starting to get stacked up on the line back here, leaving the line at 2-minute intervals. Random draw this morning for how they leave the line. And what that does is sort of mixes up the competition, keeps teams from following each other. So we've got Susan McBride here from the Iridium team. I know we talked to her. Lots of teams out here. It's hard to talk to everybody. So we'll go back to Emme and Matthew, and we'll look for some new teams to talk to shortly.
Thank you so much, Harry. So we've got some social comments here. Yep, 148, making up those points. That's what you got to do. You just got to go checkpoint by checkpoint. Get those. You get one black diamond CP, then you go for that blue, and it's just like you got to be focused and in the moment.
For sure. And that's in the that's Anna and Lisa in the FJ.
Yeah.
Obviously. Big storyline. They missed quite a bit. A couple days they were struggling with the fuel pump, and now they're off and running.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
We're just looking at some of the socials.
I know. It's so cool. I love seeing everybody's comments. I love seeing, Kaylee Miller was a past competitor, and it's great that she loves to follow along and say hi. And Kaylee, we hope to have you back someday, girl. Come on. You got to come back with your awesome driving skills.
For sure. Now, we're looking at some of these competitions overall, and then over in the X-Cross class.
Yep.
I'd say second and third, by this point, are virtually tied. They're 8 points apart.
8 points is not a lot of points in this competition, especially going into days 6 and 7.
So that's Sedona and Lynn in the Nissan, and then Carrie and Angela in Mountain Subi, the Outback.
Okay.
Currently Sedona and Lynn in their Pathfinder Rock Creek edition are 8 points ahead of Carrie and Angela in Mountain Subi. They're 9:58. So when it gets to the dunes, I'm not exactly sure which of those vehicles is going to have an easier time in the sand. But
yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of it might come down to tires, and it's going to come down to line choice, and if they decide to take an X route or not. I mean, they're both going to take X checkpoints, right?
Yeah,
that's going to
sure.
happen. But
if you're competing at that level,
yeah, you're absolutely going to. But Emily will also, sometimes she puts in some really, really really tricky driving.
Yes.
I almost said chicken driving for some unknown reason. I love my brain this morning. I need more caffeine.
It's our day 6 also.
It is. But y'all know that we've got some really cool giveaways happening here. So all you need to do is go to Rebelle Rally Live, hit that drop-down menu on promos, and we've got a list of stuff that we're going to give you. Over $3,000 worth of gear.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff in there. Obviously, the biggest piece, a set of 5 Pearly Scorpion ATR tires. But beyond that, a Wagon Tech gift certificate, Max Trax, Yeti. The whole list is on our website if you go and check it out. RebelleRally.com/giveaway if you haven't already found it.
All right. Yeah, so be sure to share that link. Be sure to sign up for that because that is a lot of cool swag. But we've got Harry, of course, back on the line getting into a Harry situation. What do we got, Harry?
Yeah, we're here at the start line with Sheila and Raylyn. Going through tech. So this is one of the things they do each morning. We got a checklist. Is your seatbelt on? Is your helmet on? Are you ready to go? That's what's happening here. And once they're done, they can talk to us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you have a good day yesterday?
Yesterday was a great day. Today's going to be a better day. I get to celebrate my birthday going to Glamis.
Oh, well, happy birthday. Thanks for spending it with us.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Hopefully there's no sand in your cake.
If there is, I'm not going to complain. I mean, who can complain about being down there? So we're looking forward to getting down there and wrapping things up.
Did you do much dune training ahead of the event?
We did. We both went she went on one trip and I went on one. We didn't actually hook up as teammates until the end of May. And so we did get down there and do some practice in the dunes and stuff like that. So a lot of fun. I can't wait to get back.
And I think this Gladiator is a great vehicle for it. I mean, good power to weight. You have the Rubicon versus the Mojave. Was that something you considered when you were purchasing this? Did you have dunes or the Rebelle in mind?
I had the Rebelle in mind, but one of the reasons I picked the Rubicon was simply because it comes with front and rear lockers and some of those things. And so when I bought my first Jeep, those are things I used as reasons to choose the Rubicon, simply because it's something I'm not going to have to add later.
And one of the things, the Mojave comes with big shocks, but it looks like you already added big shocks to this.
I added those when I put a little lift on this, and so I added the shocks at that time.
Which I think is a great addition, especially for this event. I mean, time management is so important, so if you can be more comfortable and go just a little bit faster smoothly, it really helps.
My suspension has had a workout the last couple of days.
So tell us what you're running.
I've got a 3.5-inch Clayton lift on here, and then I've got some Synergy components to it for the steering and everything, and then of course the King shocks. It sits on 40s at home. I had to put some track shoes on it to come out here for this. Take the high heels off.
And what sort of air pressure have you been running all week, and how do you think that'll differ when you get to the dunes?
I haven't aired down a lot during the week on some of these trails because I really haven't felt the need. So I've been sitting about 30, but when I get to the dunes, I'm probably going to go down to about 19. That's where I was when I was out there the last time, and it was a really good pressure to sit at.
All right, well, we'll let you get down the road and get to Glamis. Happy birthday, and have fun.
Yeah, have a good day.
Behind them, we've got Team 145. I know we have talked to this team. They're always a fan favorite, Chris and Andrea. Good morning.
How you doing?
Are you excited about getting to Glamis?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. So stoked. That's a fun place now after doing it for several years. It was daunting, but now we're excited. We know we can do it, and it's fun.
And what sort of like recovery equipment or other specialized sand equipment do you bring with you for this event?
Be honest, winch is ready if we need it, but just a kinetic rope to tug and pull. And the strategy for us is always to have an anchor, myself or some other team with us, to be that anchor at the top of a dune. We're just working in teams.
And have you made those alliances already? Do you have an idea who you're going to be out there with?
Oh yeah, depending on start times, yeah, we know who we want to pair up with, just depending, yeah. Some of them we want to pull through and help them with points, but they also serve a purpose to be an anchor. That's true.
I appreciate your honesty, Chris. Can you tell us who you're talking about taking to the dance?
No. Okay. No.
And that's a fair and honest answer. Right?
Who it is, who's on the start at the same time as we are is all that matters. But we've got a great alliances with a lot of people. Yeah. So some we want to help and some will help us, and because we've helped them, and that's the community aspect of what we do.
It's like summer camp, right? You get to see your friends every year. You come back every year to see your friends.
Best friends ever. I mean, I got the best partner in the world who's one of my best friends, if not literally my best friend. So, yeah, this is the coolest thing in the world.
Well, you two are doing great. All smiles, and have fun down there in the dunes.
Thank you very much.
We're going to go back to Matthew and Emme. We're going to go back to Matthew and Emme and hear what they have to say.
All right. It's so cool seeing the relationships forged there. Yeah. And it's not just like, you've got those friends that are like the good times friends, and you're like, yeah, that's fine. But then you've got those friends that, like, you've really been tested together.
Yeah, like war buddies.
You don't have to BS around and be sweet to. You can just be real, and when things suck, you can just agree, this is not awesome.
Right.
But we're going to get our heads down and focus and do well. And those folks sometimes you find in life are a little bit hard to find.
Yep.
So when you do find somebody you can work with like that, you hold on to them.
Yeah, and you can always go back, and you can always it's like time has never passed.
Yeah.
With those friends, those are low maintenance friends because you know exactly what has gone on and the rough times that you've gone through and the triumphs that you've had.
Yeah, for sure.
It's great.
All right, we are jumping on to a commercial.
So please stay tuned. We've got some more cool interviews for you right after this.
Get lost without getting lost. When your adventure takes you off the beaten path, Iridium is there. Whether you're camping in the woods, hiking a mountain, or sailing the ocean, Iridium satellite communicators keep you connected regardless of weather conditions, terrain, or location. Built to be portable, rugged, and easy to use, Iridium and Iridium connected devices deliver peace of mind for you and your loved ones through real-time two-way voice calling, text messaging, photo sharing, social media, GPS, weather monitoring, and SOS, even in the most remote locations. Choose from a selection of products ranging from satellite phones to Bluetooth-enabled hotspots made by the brands you trust to call home, share the moment, or get help when needed. So, get out, take a hike, seize the day, but stay connected. Iridium, your world, our network.
I really created the Rebelle to have a proving ground for people, products, and vehicles. It doesn't matter how your vehicle's powered, whether you have a traditional petrol vehicle or you have an electrified vehicle.
This year we have the standard 135 kilowatt hour battery pack. That has an EPA rating of 314 miles, but that's in ideal conditions.
we are real world testing these vehicles in the way that people want to use them. They want to go out and adventure. They want to go camping in the car that they often are doing the daily commute in.
So we are a little bit lower than some of the other vehicles. Some of the 4x4s, of course, have lift kits and things like that on them. So I think for us, in addition to range, vehicle clearance is very important.
Last year we had 2 electrified vehicles, one EV in the 4x4 and one PHEV in the X-Cross class. And this year we have 7. It's an exciting program for us, and we're learning a lot. And the companies that are involved are learning a lot.
I love how with the Rebelle they've also taken the renewable innovations who gives us the power to change how the base camps work as well and make those greener.
It was also important to us that we worked on having a program that powers these cars with renewable power. We can't have those cars not able to be powered in the desert. So that's what's been really exciting about working with the renewable innovations. They had large-scale solutions and experience and problem-solving skills, and you needed that.
This year we brought back the same vehicle because last year was in our minds like a science experiment, a little bit of a beta test. So we decided we wanted to come back and give it a go and go for a win in an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
That would be really awesome.
Welcome back, everybody, to the start of the 6th stage here at Base Camp 3 in beautiful Amboy, California. And we've got Harry down, I think, with a team that we haven't actually spoken to before. So, Harry, what you got for us?
Yeah, we're here with Shay and Colleen, 2 redhead rebels, if you want to follow them on social. So my question for you is, what SPF sunscreen did you bring for Glamis?
I have SPF 100. I think we both probably do because we're very pale and we burn very easily. It doesn't take much. We get burned on cloudy days.
Being prepared is important out here, right? In every aspect. I see you've got your Max Tracks at the ready. Have you used them yet this week?
We have used them once. We got ourselves on a trail that was not on route, and we had to get turned around, and one of my tires sunk in, so we had to use the Max Track to help guide us out. But
that's empowering, right? You self-recovered, you used them, now you're going in, you know exactly how they work.
Absolutely.
And what's your plan going into Glamis? Did you do much training in the dunes prior to the event?
So we did some training with Rebelle U at Ocotillo Wells back in April, so we do have a little bit of dunes training. But it's definitely going to be interesting. We didn't really find any checkpoints, did we? Yeah, we didn't really do any checkpoint locating when we were in the dunes. It was more learning driving and technique and stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great attitude to have, right? We're all out here to learn and just do our best and take what we learn to be better people.
Absolutely.
And have some fun.
Yeah, and have some fun.
And have some fun. Thank you for adding that. That is very important. If you want my job next year, I think you would do great. I could not do your job, though. That is for certain. Have fun out there.
Thank you.
We'll go back to Emme and Matt.
Thank you so much, Harry. I'm so glad that we're getting a chance to talk to all of the Rebels. I sat with those 2 ladies at dinner last night, and I have to tell you, they have some really great stories, and they're really, really funny.
Yeah, totally. I love just chatting with them about their energy and stuff during the day.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking at them, I'm like, I don't think maybe that checkpoint went so well for them, but they've got great energy about it, and they've got a plan, and they're, having a good time.
They're just awesome. Well, as you know, we are on our way to Glamis today. We've got a long transit stage. Even if we just take the pavement, it's like 4 hours. So we're going to talk to you about our schedule. We will be back live at 6 o'clock tonight at the Stage 6 finish line.
Down in the sand.
Down in the sand. Oh, wait, are we on an afternoon show?
No midday show today.
No midday show. Okay. So we will see you at the finish line at 6 o'clock tonight in beautiful Glamis. I'm not 100% sure where our base camp is, so that is a checkpoint for me.
Got it. We'll go and find that for sure. All right. Well, what a great morning. I love by the drone view, you can see a lot of vehicles in motion.
Yeah.
You can see like the size of our even lightweight circus here. Obviously not a big base camp here. This is kind of a half marathon overnight. But you can see a lot of vehicles moving around, a lot of action happening as we're trying to get the whole gang together and down to the sand.
Yep, so we'll have the last car off the line here in, I don't know, probably not until like 8:30 or so. But in the meantime, we'll be packing up and heading down to Glamis. Be sure to check us out today at 6 p.m. Pacific time for our closing show. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. This is Rebelle Rally Live, brought to you by Toyota. We'll see you later.